Okay.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Okay.
Second.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Nay. Motion carries. Item number 3, bills. Any bills that anyone has concerns over, or John, you wanna, anything that we should know?
No, we got, on the Confluence, 2,400 for vapor intrusion system, we've got maybe $5,000 left on that project itself. There's one more testing phase they need to do, so that'll be coming towards the end, and then the rest are pretty typical.
All in favor of passing that? You got? Move,
yeah.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Item 4, business. Alex, I think, are you taking that one?
We're on, yeah. So first order here is Resolution 2023-15, a facade improvement program grant for 221 Sibley Street. So we received an application from Levi Halfstad, who represents the Masonic Block Building, new owner there. They applied for a grant to remove some windows and replace them. The total project cost totals just over $15,000. So under the program, we reimburse based off $2 for every private investment, reimburse $1 to a maximum of $5,000. So they were requesting the maximum of $5,000 and requesting approval pending HPC approval, which they meet next week with, and the applicant has been working with the city planner, Justin, to make sure things are going to go smoothly there. So, yeah, looking for a motion to approve Resolution 2023-15.
I'll move to approve.
I second.
Question.
Question? Yeah.
Oh,
Are they just going to replace the windows with more energy efficient windows? Is that the deal?
I believe so. They are still going to be the required.
I mean, we're not
Required.
going away from the size of the windows down to,
Nope. So that's one thing with the Historic Preservation Committee. They're making sure that they are appropriate
okay,
and still fit the style and context of the building.
fine.
All right. All in favor, say aye then.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, nay? All right, motion carries. B.
Alrighty, back again. So this resolution 2023-16 is actually an amendment to the facade improvement grant amount for a previously approved grant. So this would be for 2014 and 214, 216. I can read. 2nd Street East, so right by Quaint and Quirky, and the property next door, I believe it's going to be a furniture store and coffee shop. So in September, you all reviewed and approved the program grant by Thomas and Vicki Young. And after approval, when they submitted for the reimbursement, the final quoted amount was higher than what they had submitted in the application. So have to amend it to be able to reimburse them for the higher amount. So requesting the motion to approve 2023-16 to have the increased reimbursement amount. Any questions?
I move to approve the increase.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. C.
Last one. So another facade improvement program grant application. This is for 2015 Sibley Street. This is to demolish a stairway on the backside of the building and dispose of the removed materials. Future projects are to cover up the doorway that's on the upper level. Right now, we've establish that, granted, it's not on the main front exterior of the building, it still befits the facade improvement. So staff is in support of the project. This also does require approval of the HPC, so the approval resolution does have our approval contingent upon HPC approval, so they are meeting Wednesday again, or next week, Tuesday, as well.
Yeah, and this is the old Radke Morehauser building on Sibley Street, the one that says City Hall above it there. So Radke's moving to the industrial park, and then Stacy Morgan's law firm, which was right next to Ben's house, is moving over into this building.
I just had a question. Is there any requirement to have like a stairwell for fire?
Yeah, good question. We asked that question of our building official as well. Right now, there is a unit upstairs that is being rented out. They are not going to be occupying that unit. That unit will be vacant. So there's no need for the stair because of that on the outside of it.
So
If they chose to put that back again in the future, they may require another egress to go in there. But without that unit being used, they do not need one.
So is this just for the stairwell removal? Or
Yes.
the stairwell and the blockade of the,
Just the stairwell removal. They'll be looking at getting things blocked up in the spring, so they're most likely going to handle that separately since we have the 1 year requirement between grants.
Ben? The question I pose is like, okay, yes, the upstairs, the rental space is currently, and as this evolves, it's not going to be a rental space? It's going to be storage upstairs or what?
Yeah, so as far as, it's not going to be a residential rental unit. That's what I've been told by Stacy. What would go up there, I'm unsure of whether it would be office or what would be proposed. But because the use of that space upstairs being a residential requires an additional egress. If it's not, then that's not required.
My only question to that was like, okay, 6 months or a year from now, it's like, oh, well, we're going to rent this, and then the stairway is gone, you know, that's the only question I have to that.
Yeah, they would then, I believe, be required to then provide that second egress. So then that'd be a decision they would have to make on getting that reinstalled.
I was just gonna note, similar to the other one, they also are working with Heritage Preservation on.
Yes. Thank you.
all right, looking for a motion to approve Resolution C?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, any opposed, nay? Motion carries. All right, on to number 5, reports and information development updates.
Sure. Probably the most developing piece of property right now happens to be the Vermilion Acres Senior Site on County Road 47. A lot of anxious people have awaited something to begin, and things have begun there again. I was down there earlier today, and they had a couple of modular units that had arrived that were being placed on the structure. That'll continue to go on here over the next week or two. So that'll be 75 units of senior housing, which will be dependent living and memory care. So we'll see that evolving, so that'll be a fun thing to watch. On the public side of it, we did have a public hearing go out, or public comment period begin for an environmental assessment worksheet for the Walden at Hastings development. So Walden at Hastings is 316 and Michael Avenue. It's about 511 units altogether being proposed, variety of single-family townhome, twin home, apartment, and senior. As part of the requirements by the state of Minnesota, if a project has an excess of X number of units, it triggers an environmental assessment worksheet, which is a review of environmental effects of the potential development. So the developer's engineer put it together. We reviewed it as a staff, made some modifications to it. The council took action to make it public and to establish the 30-day comment period, which is underway right now. And then That'll close in the middle of January, and we will take comments back to the council, I think, the first meeting in February. What'll happen at that point is if the environmental concerns are not substantial enough to warrant further investigation, then we will begin the site plan and plating process, and the engineers on the project are already beginning involvement within that. So they're putting together the specific plans for the development, which will go before our planning commission and council. I would anticipate that to happen over the winter and you know, perhaps something begin construction, you know, towards spring or summer of '24. When we look at the project, it's substantial. It's 511 units. I don't believe that that's all going to be done in one phase, nor do I believe the developer is going to do that, just from a market standpoint. So we'll get some better ideas of how this will be phased out over time and improvements. Along with that, I know there's concern about that project pertaining to its effect on Highway 316 and traffic, not only for access in and out for this development, but also on the effect on 316 as well. There was a traffic study that was done on that one that gave the impact of it. We're also working closely with MnDOT on the project at Michael and 316. Our conversations with MnDOT, they've been supportive of putting in a roundabout at that location, which is something that we've been pressing them for. In fact, we're trying to establish a meeting with MnDOT in the next couple weeks here just to go through the logistics of that. So I'm hopeful that that will come forward on it. When you looked at the EAW, it wasn't as definitive as to whether this would be a part of the development or not, because MnDOT has their standards of what triggers the need for a warrant for a roundabout. This didn't trigger their needs, but it doesn't preclude MnDOT from being supportive and allowing this to continue. So kind of the 2 cents on the Walden development. We'll see more of that come forward. So we've got 500 units on the southeast side of town. We're also working on a potential development annexation on the west end of town by Highway 55, west of General Sieben Drive to Jacob, on what we term the Augustine property. There's a lot of property there. We did a utility report to determine what the capacity of the existing sewer and water lines would be to handle development without a new trunk coming forward. Determined there could be about 300 units that could be developed there. We've shared that with the owner of the property, met with the owner to determine, what type of density, how it would be laid out. I expect we'll have a conceptual plan on that one in the near future. So we're working on 2 pretty substantial developments that could come forward and see some approvals coming up later in '24. So that's probably most of what I got there under updates.
All right, any questions for John or Alex? All right, do we need to approve that too?
What's that?
Do we need to approve that item on the?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope, we're at just informational. So that's all I have as staff.
All right, motion to adjourn then.
I would like to second with a comment.
Okay,
I just want to thank John and Alex for their ongoing incredible work for the community of Hastings, especially with these big developments coming and the big developments that we've had over the past 5 years, and many more before that. We just couldn't do it without your diligence, so thank you, and we're going to have a really good 2024.
Thank you.
all right, all in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, meeting adjourned.